And we are back on The Rodriguez Show, and we like to feature all kinds of artists on The Rodriguez Show. So today we have a very awesome and creative visual artist. His name is Ricky Ostendi. How's it going, man?
It's going, man. How you guys doing? I'm so pumped to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. I want to give a shout out first and foremost to our friends at Artists Worth Watching. They're the ones that made this connection, and I watched your video about your art, and I thought, yeah, this guy'd be good. And then they referred it, and it was a perfect match, man.
Oh man, yeah, I love Artists Worth Watching. Those guys are dope.
Yeah. So how you doing today, man? Where are you at right now?
I'm chilling, man. I'm just chilling right now in the studio, just hanging out. Took some time to just go ahead and talk to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. So let's talk about. Well, before we get to that, let's plug the Instagram right away at Ricksta, RickStahh, and RickyOstendiArt.com. You can check out everything he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. What I like to do, you're one of the first people I featured as like the first interview. Usually we do these in studio, but with the times the way they are, it's we get to do it like this, so it's fun. But the first thing I do when I talk to artists is I ask them how they get started. What was the moment where you're like, I need to start creating art visually?
The moment that I was what? Sorry, man, you were cutting out.
Oh, sorry. The moment that you started creating art visually, you decided you were going to start creating art.
Oh man, I can go back until like I was 7 years old. My dad was an artist, but he did it just for fun. So growing up as a kid, as a boy, you're just like, dude, I want to be like dad, So he started drawing, he started sketching, and I was just looking over his shoulder, seeing what he's doing. And for some reason, man, art just made sense to me. Like that was like an instant love. I myself just started picking up a pencil. I started sketching, asking my pops for some advice, and he would show me like little tips and tricks. But again, he just did this for fun, man. Like he didn't think of anything serious. And I just kept with it, man. I just kept on going. And I remember my grandfather one day was like, you know what, art, like after seeing some sketches and stuff that I did, he's like, dude, art is like your career. That's got to be your career. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to do it. And like, getting that inspiration, that motivation from family, man, that's huge. You know what I mean? So them telling me that, like, I was just like, yo, I got to keep at it. For my parents and family are telling me that, like, I got to fucking keep going, man. Like you got to listen to family,
Yeah, it's one of the key things. Like even doing this show, like I wouldn't be able to have done it for this long if it wasn't for the support of my family. The fact that they support you,
100%. For sure, man. That's so important, man. Like it gives you that feel to just keep on cruising and just showing me like, hey, look what I did now. They're number one fans regardless, bro.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's super blessed, and I'm just lucky I get to do something like this for a living. So it's all good.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, it's cool when you find something so young. And I did read on your website that in school you would, instead of taking notes, you would draw. So it's like even then you're like, this is something that I enjoy, and did you feel like a sense of drive even in school because you knew that eventually you were like this would take you somewhere, or you didn't feel that?
Well,
way?
Yeah, man. Like you said, that instead of just taking regular notes, for like us visual artists, like just because I'm doodling while somebody's talking, that's like my version of taking notes. Like I'm still paying attention, I might not do it conventionally like how you normally take notes, but for me, that's just how I pay attention. So like I start doodling and stuff, and friends and classmates were like, yo, what are you doing? And then just one thing led to another. I got really into graffiti. So they started like tagging their names and like on their folders and then on their backpacks. And then it just started building this like reputation. It was pretty gnarly, man. Like then it just got to the point where like, oh, Ricky, yeah, he'll draw it for you. So I was just like, dude, this is fun. Like I'm just gonna keep on going and see what happens until somebody says, no, that sucks. And again, you get those people too, that, like, oh, the haters or whatever. But I use all that as fuel, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so we'll talk more about how it became a career and how you have a career in it now. But let's just talk about, creating a piece. What is the workflow? Is there an idea? I have to come up with this today, or how does it work?
So I usually have a set idea. Sometimes if it's not like a commission-based thing and it's like my own thing, like I'm just going to go right into it.
Yeah.
I have some sort of idea like, okay, I'll do like this face of at a profile angle. I got like 3 or 4 colors in mind that I want to do, but I don't really have like a sketch. I really don't have anything written down on paper, because I feel like when I go that route, it just like restricts me from like my creativeness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I'm doing my art, like, dude, it's spontaneous. Like I feel like I just go in, and if something happens, like I just run with it. And I think that's the fun part of art, like you want to get messy, you want to explore. Like if you mess up, well, how do I fucking get out of that? Like it's just one of those things. And then something magical happens, man. And then you just start building your own style, and then you go based off that. It's just one of those things, man. Like I just go in just like an idea, and then have a brewski or something, and then see what happens.
It gets flowing. The juices start flowing.
And then you got to listen to music too.
Yeah.
You got to have that right mindset. So music is huge part of for me. Like you got to set the mood, you got to set the vibe, and you just got to go with it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. So that was one of the things. Was so music kind of guides you. What kind of music are you listening to these days when you're creating?
These days, man, I'm still an old school hip hop kind of guy.
Nice.
Like, I mean, as you can see, I'm rocking the Wu.
Wu-Tang,
like I love Wu-Tang, man. I've been listening to them since I was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And it just trickles down. Like you run into like other artists too. You got like a Tribe Called Quest, and then you got like all those other cats. And then you start finding like underground artists, some guys from like Long Beach, and it's just like huge, it's like a huge network, and there's just all this huge talent out there. And then it's a universal language, man. So like I just get immersed, and I just get sucked into that whole hip hop culture, and I feel like it's a huge part of like what I do in my thought process and my painting process. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, from just painting the artists that you do, and then you have worked with artists and done like artwork for their projects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they'll hit me up and be like, yo, I need some cover art for my single, or, whatever the case may be. And the first thing I ever ask them is like, you know what? Send me your track so I can get the vibe going. And based on like what their vibe is in the song, it's like I just throw my interpretation. Nice. One of the artists I talk to, like, mess with a lot is That's Cool. Like that guy's dope, man. And he's always hitting me up for art, and I want to deliver every single time because he's worth the talent, man. Like he's awesome to work with.
That's tight, man. And so it's always cool because like you said, the hip hop culture, even for people like us that don't make the music, like there's ways for us to be involved and create
Absolutely.
For them,
Yeah, like I mean, I can't rap for the life of me. Like, I have friends, that do it all, and they always hit me up, and it's a commodity. You know what I mean? It's a family, really. As cheesy as that sounds, bro. Like. It's a unique thing. Yeah.
And speaking of family, you have kids, right?
Yeah. Man, I got a beautiful daughter who's 2 years old, and a son who's, man, he's awesome, man. He's 7 years old.
Oh wow, yeah. I did see that you had spoken in a career day for kids, and so when your kids do art, or when you see a kid doing art, like what is the message? How do you encourage them to do it?
Man, if there's some sort of spark that they like art.
Yeah,
I just keep feeling it, man. Like, oh, keep going, don't stop, don't do it. Because I've had people and I've had friends, and it's happened to me too sometimes, where they don't want to support it because they feel like you can't make a living off of it.
Yeah.
And that's bogus, man. Like, you don't want to kill somebody's dream. Like, not everybody's a mathematician. Not everybody's going to be into like business. Not everybody's going to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wish I had some guidance like that in terms of like, if I went to class and somebody from Korea came through and was like an artist and be like, you can do it, Yeah, I was like, so if I can do that for a kid, man, like that's my job's all done, you know what I mean? I try to feel them and be like, yo, check these tutorials, keep drawing, it's not easy. I gotta be real with them too, like if you want to be an artist, whatever it is that you want to be, man, like be the best at it, think in terms of like, fuck, I'm gonna be CEO of this shit. Like, I'm gonna fucking do it. You know what I mean? So just throw 110%, and when you're tired, just go back to 100. You know what I mean?
Always giving it at least 100. Exactly.
At least, dude. That's the minimum.
That's tight, man. Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good to inspire the next generation because, like you said, as the thought process becomes more progressive, like art will be, even at a younger age, you'll be able to be like, yeah, I can make a career as an artist. Hopefully, that's because we see people like you coming up and doing it, So one of the things that inspired you that I read online was that when you first started, it was cartoons, and you kind of see the inspiration through the bold colors that you use in your art, I would say. So is there anything any modern animation that you're into right now?
Man, I mean, especially with kids right now, we're always watching Disney stuff, the thing that's playing on repeat right now is Frozen. So for my daughter, obviously. But like any 3D stuff, dude, like I majored in computer animation, so in terms of cartoons, I'm like a huge junkie in that aspect. You know, I'm
Yeah.
really into like 2D traditional art, like the Tom and Jerry's, man, like the Bugs Bunnies. Like you
Yeah.
won't get that stuff back, you know. But I'm into a lot of 3D stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, like the Spider-Man universe and you know all those freaking movies. They're dope, man. I
That
watched
one
it with
especially is amazing, I think.
Oh yeah, man, that is so sick. Yeah.
And there were so many styles in it and stuff. That was.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what the like. Each time people just keep upping it. You know what I mean? So like, it's a whole mixed media. It's not just like, I don't know, man. It's just a huge collaboration, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing in the industry. If you can collaborate your different style and make something unique, dude, you're fucking golden. You know, that goes with anything, man. That goes with music. That goes with any different type of career. Like,
it's just making stuff that is groundbreaking and kind of elevates the craft.
Elevates it and what looks different and what stands out from other, you know, artists or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So you've drawn a lot on your Instagram. I've seen you've drawn a lot of pop culture like figures, like rappers or like athletes. Is there a particular one that was hard or a special memory you have about any of those portraits?
Oh man, there's a lot of them. With me, when I create something, I put in my all, you know. So there's always something that I take from that. I'm like, fuck, I absolutely love that highlight on that. I absolutely love this. So to pinpoint one is extremely difficult. It's like, you know, like my children, you know, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's my favorite, you know. Every single one I've had like an amazing experience. Some of it fucking sucked too, you know, like some of it was frustrating and it just looked muddy. It didn't look great, which is helpful, you know, in terms of like my wife, man, she is honest when it comes to my art. So when she sees something and, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, like she's got to look at it and I give her like, if I get the okay, then I know I'm on the right path. There's times where she's like, yo, that looks, she gives me a little sign. I'm like, what? You know, sometimes I disagree, but when I make that little tweak that she suggests, you know, it's a fresh pair of eyes, bro. It's a fresh pair of like perspective and, you know, they see it in a different way. And I think that's the beauty about art because it speaks to people in a different way, ultimately at the end of the day. So,
and I think that's why I think there's like no set rules, obviously, because it's like it's just at the end of the day, it's how you feel at the creating it and how they feel receiving it. You know?
Exactly, and you know, then you get like those hardcore artists where you're like, what was your feeling behind this piece? What was this? Half the time when I create something, it's because I fucking want to create it. You know, there's no reason why I'm like, you know, obviously if I'm pissed off or I'm sad, I'll do it, but in terms of like, why did you use this color in terms of this color? I did it because it looked cool, you know. I don't know. I just I'll throw the green on there and see what happens. It looks dope. So like I still try to have like the thought process of being a kid and just exploring and having fun, you know.
And it does come across. I mean, with just the colors and how the paintings, how all the works, you know, the result of all the works, it does look fun. It looks like it was created with, you know, anything.
Right on. That's what I'm trying to portray, man. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So speaking of you know, portraits and all these, you wanted to talk about the murals. You have a side Instagram where you and your friend do murals, right?
Yeah, a buddy of mine that I work with, actually. It's crazy how things work out. We saw a lot of, you know, we grew up kind of like the same way. We both were like writers back in the day. But yeah, we decided to do a little side hustle and just do murals. You know, whoever wants to do a mural, just hit us up. Our company is called Ovra, so it's at O_B_R_A_. And it's just one of those things, man. Like we did one project and one thing led to another and we just started getting busy. And it's really cool and unique that I got to work with doing this side hustle with somebody that I actually see eye to eye on a lot of things. You know? It can sound cheesy, but like I'll be thinking about something, he's be like, yeah, we should get rid of that line, huh? And I'm like, dog, like straight up, like, yes, we should get rid of that line. You know what I mean? So he's like he's my other pair of eyes, and you know, we compliment each other in a way where it's crazy when we create something. You know, we like finish each other's sentences. He knows what I'm thinking, I know what he's thinking, and luckily we're doing this for about 2 years, that side hustle, and it's been fun, man. It's been fun. Like we just do whatever people ask us, and we're just like, yeah, we'll paint on your wall.
Is there an artistic goal or challenge that you haven't achieved that you're like, I need to conquer this?
I mean, always you want to look at what's the next best thing, right? I've been fortunate where I've had like some art pieces at some galleries and things like that. But my ultimate goal would be just like find art and like sell my paintings, for obviously for like tens and thousands of dollars. If I can start doing that, oh my God, dude, you kidding me? That's like a dream, right? But yeah, you just want to see if you can get that celebrity client. I mean, that'd be rad to have a celebrity client, maybe that should be on my bucket list. I don't know, there's little things here and there that you want to like make yourself better, but for right now, just enjoy the ride, see what happens.
Yeah, especially, the past year and a half, it's shown us how life can take so many twists and turns. It's just good to just enjoy the ride.
You got to, man. And I think it's a blessing, really, man, because it forced people to like mellow the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like people were just like 100 miles an hour every single time. There was work. They didn't hang out with their family. They hang out with their kids and shit like that, And I'm telling you this because that was me, man. Like I was working like crazy. The beautiful thing, about this pandemic, is fucked up to say, is just like I got to see my kids grow at home. It's only been a year, but I've seen so much already. Like my daughter has developed. Like it's just crazy. It's just crazy to be part of that.
Especially at that age. I mean, it's so fast. Like when they're in that age, growing up so quick.
I know. Like just looking at pictures from a year ago, it's like, huh, there's a different human right here. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, I won't keep you more of your time. Thank you so much for doing this. I do have one last question for you.
Yeah.
As somebody who has achieved some kind of, you're able to make a living off your work, you're able to do it. What advice would you give somebody that is in a position where they're not there yet, but they want to, and they have the talent, they just don't know how to get to that level?
Honestly, put yourself out there. Like, take any illustration or whatever kind of art that you do, just take it and just throw your name out there. Do it, because at the end of the day, you're going to run into clients that you don't want to do the work, but you're going to do it regardless. So if you can just keep putting in the miles, somebody's going to be like, yo, that's dope, I'm going to hire you. And then that one person will refer you to this person, and then that's how you just build that reputation. But it may take 3 years, it may take 15 years, dude. You just got to keep going.
You just keep grinding.
How much you love it. And that goes with anything. It doesn't have to be with art. It goes with anything, So you just got to keep pushing.
Keep pushing, man. Well, thank you so much, Ricky. It was a really great conversation. It's very motivational and inspiring to talk to people like you. And
thank you.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram at Rick, RICK, STAHH, RickyOstendiArt.com. And I will also post a link to the Murals Instagram page as well, so you can see the artwork on there. Thank you again, man. This is awesome.
All right, man. Thanks for having me again. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's get into the music with Mondo, and we'll be back on The Rodriguez Show.